Greetings from Marthama Guidance Home, Vellore. For our short meditation today, let's look at a very familiar psalm written by King David, Psalm 139. This psalm, comprising of 24 verses, is a personal psalm rather than a generic one. Each verse is filled with deep meaning, but let's look at the psalm as a whole today. The psalm talks about God being unlimited, unbounded, and infinite. David realizes here that God is all-knowing, all-present, and the all-wise Creator. And in the blinding light of His holiness, he realizes the desperate need for inner purity. The psalm can be divided into 4 parts. Verses 1 to 6 talks about His omniscience. Verses 7 to 12 talks about His omnipresence. Verses 13 to 18 talks about His omnipotence. And finally, verses 19 to 24 is an inescapable response to this inescapable God. The psalm starts like this: O Lord, you have searched me and known me. Our God is an all-knowing God. He is omniscient. He knows everything about me, my thoughts, my words, and my ways. And not just me, He knows about every human on the face of this earth. If we have somebody we are very close to, even then we probably still know only a small percentage about them. Why, most often we don't know most things about ourselves, but our God knows us all. And David says that this knowledge is just too high for him. We are like in a cage with God's hand around us. God knows us and our thoughts even before we think it. Our thoughts of sorrow and our thoughts of sin. The next 6 verses, verses 7 to 12, talk about the all-present God. He is omnipresent. Verse 7 says, Where can I go from your spirit, or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, or make my bed in hell, or take the wings of the morning, or go to the uttermost parts of the sea, that is, if I go north, south, east, or west, God is there. Sometimes, like Jonah, we try to run away from God. We know He is calling us, but choose to go the other way. We try to hide behind the bushes, like Adam and Eve, because of our nothingness. Other times, we are alone and hidden in the deepest ocean of our problems, and we think nobody can reach us or help us. No matter what our situation is, God can find us and help us. There is a little cartoon about a young girl who plays hide and seek with a bear. No matter where the bear hides, the girl finds the bear. Finally, the bear goes to the moon to hide, and even there he is found by the little girl. But our God is omnipresent. And verse 11 and 12 says that even if everything around us is dark, God can find us because He is light. And He'll not just find us, but hold us too. If you have ever been in a situation where you were about to fall, physically or emotionally or mentally or even spiritually, and if there was one person to hold you at that moment, then you will understand the comfort of a hold. Verses 13 to 18 talk about the omnipotent God. He is sovereign and all-powerful. My God is so big, there is nothing my God cannot do, are the lines of a very familiar Sunday school song. Verse 16 says, Your eyes saw my substance being yet unformed, and in your book they were all written, the days fashioned for me. Even before a sonogram or any technology can help us see an unborn child, God has seen that child. He saw us even before we were formed. And not just seen us, He has written how each day of our lives should be in His book, not on some rough paper, in His book. Even a layman knows how complicated yet how perfect the human body works. That's how wonderfully He has created us in His image. And in verse 14, David says, David praises God when he realizes how fearfully and wonderfully he is made. Therefore, even a person born with defects according to human standards is created by God. In Exodus chapter 4 verse 11, God says to Moses, "Who has made man's mouth? Or who makes the mute, the deaf, the seeing, or the blind? Have not I the Lord?" Our finite minds cannot comprehend and express God's thoughts, presence, and His power. We now move to the last part of the psalm. David has now realized and acknowledged that God is infinite. He is without boundary or limits. And he considers those who speak or rise up against God as his enemies. This is because God is holy and cannot tolerate sin. So David asks God to search him and his wicked ways, because his ultimate goal is to walk in the everlasting way in holiness. Verses 23 and 24 are therefore words of submission to this infinite God. When we understand and realize, not just with words, but from the depths of our heart, that God is omni. Omni means all, omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent. We will have a better view of our life on earth and our purpose here. The songwriter says, "Were the whole realm of nature mine, that were an offering far too small. Love so amazing, so divine, demands my soul, my life, my all." Even if the entire nature belonged to us, that would be such a small offering to this big God. His infinite love for us demands us to submit our all to Him. May God's name be praised. Amen.